Hey Raiders, welcome back to the Buffs and Debuffs Breakdown in Raid 101. We're going to be covering the debuffs that do more than make your numbers go up and stop the other guy from doing anything. Ready? Here we go. First stop, Poison. You've probably all seen Poison. This neat little effect comes in two tiers, 2.5% and 5%. What does that mean? Well, that's how much damage it deals, 2.5% or 5% of the target champion's max HP. This damage only scales based on the target's HP. Other stats don't affect it, though some buffs and debuffs do. Keep in mind that Poison will be blocked by block damage and shield buffs. And bosses, with their millions of HP, don't ever take full damage from anything that scales off of max HP, Poison included. Unlike most buffs and debuffs, you can put multiple copies of Poison on a champion. Each debuff will deal its 2.5 or 5% damage every turn that it's on the target, and that can add up really fast. If you thought Poison was good, well, it's about to get better. Poison sensitivity increases the damage a champion takes from all their poison debuffs by 25%. And just remember, you can put a lot of poison on your target, making this an amazing 1-2 punch for bosses. Next up, HP Burn. It is similar to Poison, but not quite the same. Here's the deal. When a champion has this debuff, their entire team will take damage at the start of that champion's turn. The damage is equal to 3% of each target's individual max HP. Same as Poison, it only scales from HP and will be blocked by defensive buffs. Now, unlike Poison, you can only have one HP burn debuff on a given champion at a time. But if you're up against multiple champions, or say an entire field of little spiders, each AP burn debuff will damage the entire enemy team. Now, this one's tricky. It works differently from other debuffs, so the confusion is understandable. Behold, the Bomb. Where pretty much every other debuff applies its effects for a few turns, then expires, the Bomb has no effect until its timer ticks to 0. Then, boom! When a bomb goes off, it deals direct damage that fully ignores the target's defense stat. That can be really nasty, especially if you've managed to land several bombs on the same champion. Also, unlike other damaging debuffs, bombs deal damage that scales off of the champion that planted the bomb, not the champion suffering the debuff. Generally, the bomber's attack stat. That means you can use buffs to enhance a bomb right before sending it off. Just remember, even though bombs scale off of your champion's stats, the damage bombs deal can't crit. So having a high crit rate or crit damage on your bomber doesn't help. Healing your champions is often no less important than damaging the enemy. Fortunately, with Leech, you don't need to choose. Hit a target with this debuff and every attacker will be healed by 18% of the damage they inflict. Keep in mind that this healing can't exceed the target's current HP. So if an enemy has, say, 100 HP left, you can only heal 100 HP, no matter how much damage you deal to them. And dealing damage to shields or other protective barriers doesn't heal you either. What are shields? We'll get to those later, I promise. Next up, we have Weaken. This debuff is fairly straightforward. The affected champion receives 15% or 25% more direct damage. Also, it affects the bomb's damage. Pair it with decreased def to take down tough enemies. The next one is a sneaky one. A lot of the time it doesn't do much, but used at the right moment, it can completely ruin the enemy plan. Block Buffs does exactly what it says. If a champion tries to buff someone with the block buffs on them, the buff is, well, blocked. Nothing happens. This can prevent a huge number of defensive maneuvers, and we'll be going over all the crazy stuff that complex buffs can do in the next video. Spoilers! Block buffs stop most invincible defense builds cold. Lastly, we have Heal Reduction. It comes in two versions, 50% and 100%, indicating how much they reduce heals by. This isn't always helpful in PvE, but when you need it, you need it. In PvP, there's a lot more healing going on, so it's more likely to find some use. And that's it for today. Next up, Advanced Buffs. Hit like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss it.